So as you know, this is given in your GS paper 2, international agreement. So India-UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. So why it was in news recently? So India-UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. This is the biggest bilateral trade pact come into force. So this is a comprehensive economic partnership agreement is a bilateral trade pact. Bilateral trade means when two country engage any type of economic agreement or trade pact is called bilateral trade pact. Okay, and this is called comprehensive economic partnership agreement between India and UAE. So what about all this trade pact? So bilateral trade pact is India's first in the region and the first comprehensive trade agreement with any country in a decade. So first in the region means it is a Gulf region. If you will see the map, then this is the part of Africa. And this is the Red Sea. Okay, wait a second. This is the Red Sea and this is the Persian Gulf. And this is India. So this region is very, very important for geographical point of view, because this is the entire Arab Peninsula, this Red Sea that connect the Mediterranean Sea also. And India is looking towards a very good relationship between all those countries that is located here, like Persian Gulf, UAE, Oman, Yemen, then Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran. Okay, these countries are very, very important for India's foreign policy. So that's why such an agreement will give India a chance to explore more in this region and able to do a more trade pact with other countries. Okay, so what about all this trade agreement? This is a bilateral trade pact is India's first in the region. It would allow 90% of the country's export duty-free access to the Emirates. So 90% of the country's export duty-free. Duty-free is like something which is completely free from any type of trade restriction. It is free of cost, and that can be connect India with this country more freely. And this comprehensive economic partnership agreement is likely to be benefit about 26 billion US dollar worth of Indian products that are currently subject to 5% import duty by the UAE, which is India's third biggest trading partner behind US and China. So this agreement, comprehensive economic partnership agreement, is likely to benefit 26 billion US dollar about the Indian products. Okay, and that India is subject to 5% import duty by UAE, which India's third biggest trading partner. So UAE is the India's third biggest trading partner after US and China. So obviously this will be one of the important agreement, bilateral trade that will be indicate a very good future when two countries will do a more trade agreement. Okay. Now, the important thing is here. So this is the first consignment of goods consisting of jewelry items from India to the UAE under the India-UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement was flagged. So India handed over certificate of origin to the three exporters from the gems and jewelry sector. So what is this certificate of origin? Certificate origin means concept indicate that from where a particular goods is born. Okay, for example, Indian jewelry, gems and jewelry we are exporting to other part of the world. So from where it actually manufactured, so everything is detail is given. That is called certificate of origin. So it will develop a trust. Foreign country will trust about Indian products, and that will be more demand in international market. So under the new custom system, the consignment will attract zero custom duty. It will attract zero custom duty. Okay, so zero custom duty means this is about the import and export of products, that government earn a revenue by imposing a tax on importing and exporting the product. Now, what exactly this comprehensive economic partnership agreement? So it is a kind of free trade pact. Okay, it is a free trade pact that cover negotiation on the trade in services and investment and other area of economic partnership. So it is like a free trade pact. Okay, that will be cover trade in services, because nowadays India export large services. Our banking, telecommunication, hotel management, all services are basically India export. Many of the persons of India visit to different part of the world to provide services and investment and other area of economic partnership. Now, apart from UAE, India also signed a comprehensive economic partnership agreement with the South Korea and Japan. This is very important for prelims point of view. In prelims, they can ask you consider the following countries, among which of the following country where India has signed a comprehensive economic partnership agreement. So remember, UAE, South Korea, and Japan are three important countries. जिसका India comprehensive economic partnership agreement signed किया है. So India UAE CEPA trade deal. The new strategic economic agreement will increase bilateral trade in goods to $100 billion in 5 years. So this will be able to boost trade, okay, in goods that will be reach $100 billion in 5 years of the signed agreement, and increase trade in services to 15 billion. So trade in services will be also increased to 15 billion. So overall, the good and services both will be exported more, and it will be boost India's economy. Now, this agreement is a comprehensive agreement which will cover. Comprehensive indicate that it is not only where only one product is will be covered. There will be multiple products will be covered, and that is called trade in goods. Rules of origin will be also. Trade in services will be also. Technical barrier to trade, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, dispute settlement will be also there. If any dispute will be between the two countries regarding any of the products, movement of natural persons for tourist visit, okay, country people to people contact will be further improved. Telecom, custom procedures, pharmaceutical products, government procurement, okay, intellectual property right, investment, digital trade, and cooperation in other areas. So it will include a digital trade element. Okay, digital trade element, which is the first of its kind for both countries. Digital trade element kya hai? Where digitally we will do a trade of the products, and that will be up to the date both the country will able to understand what the product they are going to trade in future. The United Arab Emirates is India's third largest trading partner and second largest export destination. So UAE is also the 8th largest investor in India with an estimated investment of 18 billion US dollar. So UAE play a very important role for India's export and import, and placed a second, third, and 8th position in terms of exporting and importing, respectively. And bilateral trade between India and UAE stand for 43.3 billion in 2021. So export were 16.67 billion US dollar, and import driven by oil pushed the balance in favor of UAE at 26.7 billion US dollar in 2021. Now, what will be the significance of the deal? This will be the question in mains exam. They will ask you about to write the significance of the deal. So it will help to enhance market access. Both the country will access both the domestic market. So it will be a boost domestic product also. Investment by the government will do more, and more product will be exported. Also be able to access a good technology. So this agreement will provide a significant benefit to India and UAE businesses, including enhanced market access and reduced tariff. Obviously, these two countries will be connect more and do a trade. So instead of depending on China, our main focus, okay, we should less depend on China and more focus on other countries. Okay, so that's why we will able to access more products, cheaper products from other foreign country instead of accessing to China. Now, this comprehensive economic partnership agreement will boost bilateral trade from the current 60 billion US dollar to 100 billion in the next 5 years. So India welcome investment from the Gulf country into Jammu and Kashmir. That would open new routes for regional trade and connectivity and advance the collective interest in India, Israel, and UAE and the United States. So now the country will also, other foreign country will also do investment in Jammu and Kashmir. If this is very important for security point of view, that we will able to develop infrastructure in Jammu and Kashmir UT, because of if more development, then people will be able to get more jobs and they will trust the government. So such type of insurgency or terrorism type of activity will be controlled. Okay, if the development will be a more, so these countries like Israel, UAE and United States, all these countries are interested to do investment in Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so deepening of the relationship with the UAE would also help India exporter to gain access to other West Asian country, Africa and some part of the Europe. So once we will able to have a very good trade that is packed with, that is signed between India and UAE. So other countries, neighboring countries like you can say Oman, Yemen, okay, then Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, and then from the sea routes we are able to access some North African countries also and South European countries. Okay, so obviously this will be we will have to compete with China also, because China is also controlling those areas. So this will help in a digital trade. Early harvest agreement would likely to include a chapter of digital trade, which would be aimed at enhancing cooperation between the two countries on digital trade in futures. Okay, so like new infrastructure, new technology will be a more trade will be there. So digital trade is likely. So what is digital trade? Digital trade. So digital trade is likely to include framework on paperless trading. Okay, it is like a paperless trading, digital payment protection, as well as address issues such as intellectual property rights in digital trade and challenges to small and medium enterprises. Okay, so it will like to likely include the framework of paperless trading, digital payments, and online consumer protections, as well as address issues such as intellectual property rights in digital trade and challenges to small and medium enterprises. Okay, so the UAE hopes to get enhanced market access in India for its petrochemical, metal, and dates. Okay, so this will be one open market for UAE. It will be one opportunity for UAE so that it will be access India product more properly, and that will be a boost domestic production of different products, and we will able to export this product to UAE more accurately. So Indian goods will flow to the other Gulf countries as UAE has no custom barriers. Okay, it's like you can say a tax haven country. So what is tax haven country? Where a tax is free, so we are able to do a trade more properly, and we able to earn more foreign currency. So this will also help in energy ties. UAE is India's third largest supplier of crude oil and second largest supplier of LPG and liquefied natural gas and liquefied petroleum gas. Renewable energy is the next stop for bilateral energy ties. So more bilateral energy ties that include renewable energy. So it will be able to develop a more strengthen the relationship between the two countries, because renewable energy is where all country of the world are looking towards for investment in. Okay, because this is the alternate to fossil fuels, and this will be looking towards substitution of fossil fuels to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. And also India is committed to, for production of 40% of electricity from renewable source of energy. So it may also give a boost to India's jewelry exports. It is expected to create a new jobs, raise living standard, and provide wider social and economic opportunity in both the nations. Now, what are the issues and challenges? Already India signed the this comprehensive economic partnership agreement with the UAE. So what are the challenges? So lack of negotiations. Okay, so a free trade agreement with the Gulf countries comprising Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, UAE, Oman, Qatar, and Bahrain as its member was first envisaged in 2007, but got stuck after the couple of rounds of negotiation. Negotiation is very important. Like these are the products where some amount of taxes will be allowed by the both the country. And for example, Indian government wants to protect its agriculture part. Okay, so we will not sign any agreement which will hamper our agriculture production, or our farmers of the country will be suffer. Okay, so if anything will be there, and that in that case, India want to do a negotiation, and this is the reason why we are not signed a regional comprehensive economic partnership agreement. This is the world largest free trade agreement. Okay, so first of all, we are looking towards to develop our domestic sector. We're still lacking infrastructure. We're still lacking our investment, and skilling of people is very important for production, and that goods can able to compete with foreign products. Okay, so negotiation is one problem where maybe there will be some products where a negotiation will be where both the UAE and India will be stuck. It will be lacking global giant experience. So despite being a 2.5 trillion US dollar economy, India business is small in size. Okay, in fact, none of the Indian business giants come close to the big global conglomerates that have the capacity, infrastructure, and experience to handle a huge investment. So still, we are lack a giant experience, global giant experience. We are not experienced so much to participate in such a large trade, or be able to sign a contract for very big projects. So in that case, it will be one challenges in front of India, that investment is requirement in those countries. Now, procedural issues are also there. There are different procedures, like including lack of planning, lack of complete information, bureaucratic bottlenecks continue to remain a challenge. Some of the paperwork will be not signed, it will be not passed from one ministry to another ministry. A foreign investor, despite significant effort by the government in this direction to make investment easy and convenient. So government already make in India and ease of doing business. All this effort of the government is to how we can improve the business sector of our country. But there are some other loopholes in different sector, different ministries. So that will be a procedures will become one issue, will become one challenge. Now, but there are some legal issues also, like some tribunals are there in our country. They may not able to pass can say that about the permission for setup of industries. So legal problems have in the past dampened the foreign investment from coming to India. For example, the investment from UAE, Etisalat and Etihad had got stuck in legal problems, thus dampening investor enthusiasm. While checks and regulation are needed, better streamlining of the procedures and processes help in avoiding such problems. Now, the political will also, there are challenges pertaining to political diversions, especially when election year is approaching. Okay, in that case, the government will be delay the products for signing. India has a tendency to become a focus inward in the process, ignore foreign policy. So during the time of election year, India is focusing on inward policy. They are more focused on how to remove poverty, unemployment ko kaise khatam kare. All these things are there, and they completely ignore the foreign policy. And in that case, this is very important. Now, the UAE with an appetite for large-scale investment need to be continuously engaged. So, in such a case, we cannot completely ignore UAE any type of policy. If once we sign the agreement with any of the country, we should be follow the same tempo as all of the year, whether it's election year or not. So, what should we do in future for making up this agreement more successful by India? So, the India-UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement will further cement the already deep, close, and strategic relations between the two countries, and will create new employment opportunities, raise living standards, and improve the general welfare of the people of the two countries. Okay, so this will be a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, will further cement the deep, close, and strategic relations between the two countries, and will create a new employment opportunity. It will raise living standards and improve the general welfare of the people of the two countries. Both countries need to identify clear area of focus and establish way of working together to resolve the trade remedy cases. Okay, so this is not the duty of one country. Both the country should understand what are the loopholes, what are the obstacles which is not able to implement the policy successfully, so that can be solved by both the countries. Okay, now we'll move in to a new news articles that is from rice fortification. So what is rice fortification? One probable question in prelims exam also, and in mains exam obviously they will ask you question about the food processing industries. आपका syllabus में so rice fortification क्या है? It is like science and technology where we can make our food products more nutrient rich. Okay. So recently, 600 rice mills in Telangana installed blending machines for rice fortification. Okay, the Food Corporation of India approval is given. The mills started installing blending machines since the Food Corporation of India had agreed to buy fortified boiled rice while totally rejecting boiled rice. So fortified boiled rice is a type of rice which contain a more nutrients that can fight against the global hunger diseases. Okay, like malnutrition problem you see mostly in our Indian childs. So that type of problem will be solved if we have a more such type of fortified boiled rice. Okay, the current issue is the refusal of the center to lift boiled rice from the state had kicked off a major protest by the state government. Okay, so state government already protested against the central decision about the not accepting the boiled fortified rice. Now the government Food Corporation of India given approval that they are ready to buy this products. Now this as the paddy cultivated in rabi season generally yielded broken rice due to the higher temperatures during harvest. The state government had been supplying boiled rice to the FCI all the years. But the FCI had refused to buy boiled rice from this year as it is had surplus stock as it's go down. So इस बार government already बहुत सारे surplus stock में थे. That's why they not wants to buy any other extra products from the farmers. And this was the again protest by the state government. Now the government accepted that now they will able to buy a new type of rice called fortified boiled rice. Now, center proposed supply of for fortified rice in the public distribution system to improve the immunity level of people in the background of COVID and other viruses. So it will include in midday meals for school children and public distribution system. Blending machines will also be used to the stock already in the godown to FCI for PDS. So basic idea here is to how we can normal rice to convert it to fortified rice that can be helps to fight against the some of the immune diseases, deficiency diseases. Okay, so rice fortification hota kya? The Food Safety and Standard Authority of India defined fortification as deliberately increasing the content of essential micronutrient in a food. Okay, so this is the essential micronutrients. Like for example, there is a lack of iron, there are lack of vitamins, there are lack of proteins. Okay, so this type of products which is lack in a food products and not able to consume by poor families of our country. So that they faced a lot of diseases. So such type of problem we will able to solve by such fortification. So essential micronutrients in a food so that improve the nutrient and nutritional quality of food and to provide public health benefit with minimum risk of health. Okay. Or in simple word, we can see rice fortification is a process of adding micronutrient to regular rice using extrusion technology. So the one technology will be used for such fortification. Now various technology are available to add micronutrient regular rice such as coating, dusting and extrusions. These are the some influence they can ask you. Coating, dusting, extrusions are associated with which of the following things? So remember is a fortification of food. Okay, fortification of food से ये related है. Now this involves the production of fortified rice kernels from a mixture of using extruder machines. So this machine is name is extruder machine is where with we can add extra nutrients. Now the fortified rice kernels were the blended with regular rice to produce fortified rice. Fortified rice will be packed in jute bags with the logo +F and the line fortified with iron, folic acid and vitamin B12. The rice fortification was the fifth behind salt, oil, milk and wheat, which was target for fortification by the center by 2024. So remember what are the other products that will be fortified, like salt, oils, milk and wheat and rice. These are the 5 products that will be fortified by center by 2024. So what is the need of this fortification? Because global hunger index report says that India stands 101st position among 116 countries in the global hunger index. Okay, in India, women and children are facing severe level of malnutrition. So to fight against this malnutrition, we have to provide a micronutrients, important micronutrients to the people of our country. So what is this malnutrition? India has a very high level of malnutrition among women and children. Like stunting and anemia. Every third child is stunted and every second woman is anemic in the country. Okay, that's the reason why this is a fortification is very important. So it will help to eliminate malnutrition and nutritional deficiencies. Okay, it will be help to it provide extra nutrition at affordable cost. It will be a safe fortification, a safe method of improving the nutrition among people. The addition of micronutrient to food does not pose a health risk to the people. Socio-culturally acceptable way. It does not require any changes in the food habit and patterns of people. It is socio-culturally acceptable way to deliver nutrients people. Okay, nutrients to the people, whatever the nutrients they are not able to get, that nutrients should be avoided, should be given. Cost effective food fortification, a cost effective strategy improve the nutrition status of population, and it is associated with high economic benefit. It requires initial investment to purchase both the equipment and vitamin and mineral premix, but overall cost of the fortification are extremely low. Now there are some disadvantages, not only advantages, there are some disadvantages also with the fortification. Low coverage, it cover a low coverage, only half handful of the nutrients are added to the process of fortification. Other nutrient deficiency remain untreated by the process. Fail to reach the poorest segment of society, it is not distributed properly. Many times fortified food products fail to reach the poorest segment of society, who are among the worst section of affected by with nutritional deficiencies. जिनके लिए बना है उनके पास ही ये proper distribute नहीं हो पा रहा. So low purchasing power and weak distribution channel are responsible for this problem. Fortified foods could lead to nutritional overdose also. Sometime it will be nutrition काफी ज़्यादा, अगर if it will be accessed by some little bit a rich person, so they already have nutrients from other sources, and they in return they consume this fortified rice, then obviously it will be a cause over nutritional overdose हो जाएगा. ठीक है. So what should we do in future so that it will be distributed to each those section of society who actually need this type of rice? So rice is one of the India's staple food consumed by about 2/3 of the population. So per capita rice consumption in India is 6.8 kg per month. Okay, therefore fortifying rice with a micronutrient is an option to supplement the diet of the poor. The central government has announced that the supply of fortified rice through government schemes such as public distribution system and PM Poshan to address the issues of malnutrition among the poor by 2024. Okay, now next important news article here is PMFME scheme. Okay, recently this scheme was in news. So let's talk about what meaning of this scheme. So recently Ministry of Food Processing Industry and NAFED, called National Agriculture Cooperative Marketing Federation of India Limited, launched one district one product. Okay, one district one product brands under the Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprise Scheme. So what is PMFME scheme? Is Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises. So Ministry of Food Processing Industry has signed an agreement with NAFED for developing 10 brands of selected 21 district one product under the branding and marketing component of PMFME scheme. So what this scheme exactly meaning of this scheme is? It was launched under the Atmanirbhar Abhiyan in 2020. It aims to enhance the competitiveness of existing individual micro enterprises in the unorganized segment of the food processing industry and to promote formalization of the sector and provide support to farmer producer organizations, self-help groups, and producers cooperative along their entire value chain. The scheme adopts the one district, one product approach to reap the benefit of scale in terms of procurement of inputs, availing common services and marketing of production. So it will be implemented over the period of 5 years from 2021 to 2024-25. So this is the important point. You should know the timelines when this scheme will be, what will be the tenure, and it is under the Atmanirbhar Abhiyan. Okay, main aim of this scheme is to enhance the competitiveness of existing individual micro enterprises in the organized segment of the food processing industry and to promote formalization of the sector and provide support to farmer producer organization and self-help group. Okay. Now future one district one product का क्या है कि the state would identify food product for district keeping in view the existing clusters and availability of the raw materials. For example, Bihar will choose sugar cane. Okay, then Maharashtra will choose some products like some groundnuts. Okay, any type of food products. The one district one product would be perishable produce based or cereal based or a food item widely produced in an area. Example, mango, potato, pickle, millet based products, fisheries, poultry, etc. And it will be other focus in waste to wealth product. Whatever the waste will be there, that should be helps to generate manures or fertilizers that can be help in a further improving the soil condition of the other country, like minor forest produce and aspirational districts. Capacity building and research, academic and research institution under the Ministry of Food Processing Industry along the state level technical institution would be provide support for training of units, product development, appropriate packaging and machinery for micronutrients. This will be help also the financial support. So existing individual micro food processing unit called desirous for upgrading their unit can avail credit linked capital subsidy at 35% of the eligible project cost with a maximum ceiling of rupees 10 lakh per unit. This will be support, financial support will be given also. It would be provided through credit link guarantee 35% for development of common infrastructure, including common processing facility, lab, warehouse, through food processing organization or self-help group or cooperatives or state-owned agency for private enterprises. A seed capital of 40,000 rupees for self-help group would be provided for working capital and purchase of small tools, so that they are able to set up their own industry, small industry, and they can sell the product in different part of the India. Funding, it is also centrally sponsored scheme with a outlay of around 10,000 crore, and the expenditure under the scheme would be shared by 60:40 between the central state government, 90:10 ratio with northeastern and Himalayan state, and 60:40 ratio with the UTs with legislature, and 100% by central to other UTs. So those UTs where are no legislature, so that UT will be 100% share will be given by the government. Now, what is the need of this scheme? Why one district one product scheme is important? So unorganized food processing sector comprises nearly 25 lakh units, contribute to 74% employment in the food processing sector. They are unorganized. So given the more formal infrastructure, they bring a more under the guideline of the government procedures. Nearly 66% of the units are located in rural areas, and 80% of them are family-based enterprises supporting livelihood of rural households and minimizing their migration to urban area. So this unit largely fall within the category of micro enterprises. The unorganized food processing sector faces several challenges which limit their performance and their growth. The challenge include lack of access to modern technology and equipment, training, access institutional credit, lack of basic awareness on quality control of products, and lack of branding and marketing skill, etc. Okay. Now, another important news article from Science and Technology is called Venus Mission 2024. So Venus is one of our planet in solar system. So let's talk about what this mission is all about. So recently, new chairman of Indian Space Research Organization has announced that it is expecting to launch the Venus mission by December 2024. Okay, so Mars, you know the total number of 8 planets in our solar system: Mars, Venus, Earth. Okay, so Mercury is this all Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Okay, so this Venus is an important, you can say, second planet. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Okay, now the aim of the mission is to study Venus atmosphere, which is toxic and corrosive in nature, as cloud of sulfuric acid cover the planet. So Venus mission का क्या aim है? To study the Venus atmosphere, exactly why Earth planet have atmosphere is contain a more life supporting gases. What are the composition of Venus atmosphere? So it contains some toxic and corrosive in nature, as cloud of sulfuric acid cover the planet. Earlier, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration announced the two new robotic mission called Da Vinci Plus and Veritas to Venus. Remember, these two names will be important for your prelims point of view. Maybe they can ask you. So, what are the objectives of this mission? It will help to investigation of surface process and shallow surface stratigraphy. Until now, no prior observation of subsurface of Venus has been done. So, India is going the first country who is doing research on subsurface of Venus. Stratigraphy is a branch of geology in which rock layers and layering are studied. So, what is stratigraphy? The rocks of the surface that whatever the rocks that present on the surface of the Venus planet that will be studied. Okay, and study of the structure, composition, dynamic of the atmosphere, investigation solar wind interaction with the Venusian ionosphere. So, what the solar wind and how it impact the atmosphere of this Venus is also the part of the study. So it will helps to know multiple answer what exactly scientists wanted to know about the inner planets. So what is the significance of this mission? So it will helps to learn how Earth-like planets evolved and what conditions exist on Earth-sized exoplanets. Planets that orbit a star other than our sun. So the exoplanets are those planets which are not present in our solar system, but they also revolve other orbiting other stars. Like our sun has one solar system, has one star, other stars also where other planets are orbiting. So it will help in modeling the Earth's climate and serve as a cautionary tale on how dramatically planet's climate can change. So what are the challenges of the mission? So Venus offers different challenge compared to the Mars, given the thick atmosphere and surface activity, which make it complex planet. So it is very difficult to study and challenging part of India to you can say that launch a satellite and land over this surface of the planet. In order to have deeper understanding, the instrument needed to go deep through the atmosphere. One of the instruments to the space agency is planning to use on the spacecraft is a high resolution synthetic aperture radar. So that would examine Venus surface despite the cloud around the planet, which lower visibility. So synthetic aperture radar is helps to understand examine the Venus surface, what exactly present on the Venus surface. Despite very dense, you can say clouds are covered the entire planet. So this will help to deep penetrate more and will focus on surface of Venus surface and that what type of rocks are present. So it referred to a technique of producing high resolution images because of the precisions. The radar can penetrate clouds and darkness, which means that it can collect data daytime and nighttime in or any type of weather condition. So this will be a Venus mission 2024 that India is planning to launch and will understand the entire Venus surface also and the atmosphere about the origin, dynamic, composition, what exactly present, what type of things present in Venus atmosphere. Okay. Now, World Food Prize 2022. Next important news article, World Food Prize 2022. So why it was in news? So World Food Prize Foundation announced that the name of World Food Prize laureate 2022 is given to Dr. Cynthia Rosenweig of the United States. So Dr. Cynthia Rosenweig of the United States को जो है उनको वर्ल्ड फूड प्राइज 2022 का मिलता है. So Rosenweig was selected for the award for her research to understand the relationship between climate and food system. So she had done a research to understand the relationship between climate and food system and forecast how both will change in the future. So in 2021, leading nutrient expert Dr. Shakuntala Harak Singh Thilsted won the prize, and in the 2020 Indian American soil scientist Dr. Ratan Lal won this prize also. So very important for prelims point of view. So what is World Food Prize? So World Food Prize is the foremost international honor recognizing the achievement of individuals who have advanced human development by improving the quality, quantity, or availability of food in the world. So it covers different field areas, like it is an annual award that recognizes the contribution in any field involved in the world food supply, including plant, animal, and soil science, food science and technology, nutrition, rural development, etc. So it is open to any individual without regard to race, religion, nationality, and or political beliefs. So this is what those person who are engaged in doing research and they found some important things that will help to solve the food crisis problem of the world. Okay, they received this World Food Prize for the unique discovery. So what type of prize is this? It is will given a cash prize of 2,50,000 US dollar. Okay, a sculpture designed by the noted artist and designer Saul Bass. And the prize is presented each October on or around United Nations World Food Day on 16th October. It is presented by the World Food Prize Foundation, which has have over 80 companies, individual, etc. as a donors. So World Food Prize Foundation located in Des Moines, USA. Okay, so these are some important points regarding the World Food Prize. Okay, for food product के बारे में बताया गया है. I think this much is sufficient for you for this week. So we'll meet you in next Saturday and we'll cover other news articles. Okay, so please read this all news articles in detail and solve some objective and write some few questions about food fortification के ऊपर question आ सकता है and about India UAE comprehensive economic partnership agreement. Okay, so I will upload this your PDF file. You can download from expression.ai. Okay, everybody. Okay. Okay. Thank you to everyone. Good night.